our B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Danny.
And this is Jim.
And this movie was not what I remembered the trailer being.
No. Yeah. Yeah. So, we have a list of movies that we put out, or we put together ahead of time. Because we go through and find things. Oh, this would be good. This would be good. This would be good. I want to see this. I want to see this. But unfortunately, sometimes we go through, in this case, like 6 different movies on the list.
There were several ahead of this one.
Yeah, that you have to subscribe to a channel.
That we don't have,
that,
or it's a rent or buy. Or...
Yeah, and the rentals are not inexpensive, let's say, especially for older stuff that I look at. I'm like, 99 cents would be like, maybe, $9.99. Come on.
I know.
So we plotted down, and we remembered this movie by who's in it, right?
Yeah.
This is why we wanted to see it. And we remember the trailer as being funny.
Yes. Funny movie.
Now, spoiler, the movie is funny. So it was correct on that point. However, the actual plot kind of caught us both by surprise. And I mean, it's
not a dunking on this film, but
no.
It was just the subject matter is an interesting one.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
No.
It's just we had no recollection of this from the trailer. We're like, oh, that was funny. I remember the trailer. We didn't, apparently.
I guess not.
Other than we laughed.
Other than it was funny.
Yeah. And I wonder if this was in the trailer.
I don't know.
Because
I'm tempted to kind of pause recording and watch it, but
yeah, we didn't rewatch the trailer. We just wanted to leave it be.
I mean, I would think it would be in the trailer.
You would think, but I also feel like I want to feel like if this was in the trailer, this
would have remembered.
This would have been a sticking point.
Right.
Right? Like, huh.
Oh.
Man, I don't know.
I don't know.
But it was a long time ago we put this on the list.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that. What's going on in the world? World of filmmaking and writing and all that. Not the actual world, because that's a fucking heap of burning garbage.
I don't know if this happened before or after the last time we recorded, but Val Kilmer has passed away.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The sad things.
Yeah.
I know there were, and I didn't write the names down. I feel a bit like a dick for it. But just, it's shit that I notice while I'm waiting for builds to process and stuff at work. And then I don't act on it because okay, didn't have as long as I thought. But there are a few people who have passed away who have been in a lot of films. I mean, from like 70s onward, but not as leads.
Okay.
Right. So as, I don't know, co-stars kind of thing.
Sure.
And just sort of some background stuff. But as always, it's a sorry thing to keep seeing the forest of legends, the forest of people, folks who are passing away from old age. And all of these were in 80s and like early 90s. And it's like, how can you argue?
Yeah.
Right. That's a good stretch, but that most of these people have been in film since their teens or early 20s.
Yeah.
And rocking it. I mean, this is old guard. You don't have to be Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Robert Redford, to be old guard. These are people who have just been doing it, and unfortunately, as time goes on, so do they go. It's just kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Because it kind of, to me, feels like, and This might agitate some people, but it just makes me feel like we're losing more of the truth of what this art is about, and we're not getting uh, compensated on the back end. There's like no reinforcements coming up. It's just like, I got 100 people in a room and 10 of them are really great chess players. I love playing chess, and we're down to one left. Nobody else can play chess. Fuck these other people, man. They're not bringing anything to my game,
Yeah.
literally and pun wise. Anyway, we're getting just a few weeks away from Primal Games being officially released.
That is exciting.
Yep, David Ryan Keith. And I've been following him on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
his Clear Focus Movies handle. And there was a Scotland Horror Fest,
Yes.
and they broke out burlap
Hmm.
for it, which was kind of cool. Very cool. Um, let's see.
I have two things.
You have two things?
Yeah. Uh, Moments ago, you said Forest of Legends, and that sounds like a great D&D adventure.
Okay.
And second, a phenomenon has started in this household, which I find to be an interesting dynamic, and I want to see where it goes.
Sure.
The first episode of the second season of Last of Us aired
Mm-hmm.
this past weekend. You and I watched it.
Yes.
Our child has not played the first game, nor has she seen the first season. But she has begun to play the game Last of Us 2.
Yep.
And I went up there and she was like, "You guys are in for a wild ride." Thank you. We opted not to finish playing the game before watching this second season.
Right.
For the purpose of we played it and then we saw the last season. And it didn't, it was great. Both of them great. Game great, show great. There were differences.
Yeah.
Wasn't disappointed.
No. And, I don't know, maybe that's something we should kind of get into at one point, just adaptations.
Yeah.
Not just B movies and indie, but, uh, big boys.
Right?
The A series stuff.
Second, though, and I mean, maybe we wanted to watch the second season without knowing what's coming.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I wanted the experience of that.
And yeah, me too. But I feel like the trailer,
Mm-hmm. It does give away quite a lot.
I mean, there's probably some finer plot points and,
Mm-hmm.
obviously all the stuff that goes on in between. But, well, we know of a couple big things that are going to happen. No surprise there.
Well, but then it's like when, right?
Oh, I know. Last episode, third episode, we don't know.
No idea.
We don't know.
Anyway, excited about that. Hoping Lily doesn't spoil it for us.
That's why I try not to watch too much of the game.
Yeah, I wasn't watching while she was playing.
Well, so here's the thing. I guess we could, because let's just talk about it for a second.
Okay.
All right. Because I know a lot of people are watching it.
Yeah.
So the Last of Us video game, fantastic. We
wonderful.
loved it. Very awesome retake on zombie apocalypse. Where it's not actually zombies. It's infected, and
Mm-hmm.
loosely we can group them in. That's what it was built after. I'm not going to argue that. But the game was so action oriented. I mean, it's story, and it has some pretty good cinematics. A lot of vocal work. I mean, it's just a lot of dialogue. It's almost nonstop, right? Which is enjoyable.
But it's also a very solid,
Shooter.
Yeah, basically shooter.
I mean, yeah, kill it. Most of that does not translate to film.
Right.
Right. If you're not playing the game, I don't know that I want to sit through. I mean, like I said, it'd be like watching, someone on Discord just ramping it up to the game. Like, well, this isn't what I want to do for an hour each night.
Right.
So when we saw the first season, I guess I expected something else, but not, it's not bad that it didn't go that way.
Sure.
And compared to Walking Dead had in the beginning an excessive amount of zombie issues and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I get it. I want to see the zombies,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want them to be like a problem every fucking time.
Right.
And it kind of got to that point. A lot of stuff they cut out because it was just killing infected.
Right.
And in game time, it could take you anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours, depending how many times you die and how long you have to fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, we don't want to have those expectations for the second season. Also, I would just like to have it all come as a surprise.
Yeah.
Not laid out in the game.
Right.
Because there's going to be changes. And, it's got a rocking cast. Just like it did last year, And I want to see what they're going to give me. And then I'll play the game. I'll finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's already past where I was.
She's past where I was, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that pseudo grocery store or gift shop or, quick trip type place at the bottom of that building, it took me a long time. Probably. I shouldn't really get into it because I'm just embarrassing myself. But it took a super long time. And then it just fell off the list. Busy. So anyway.
I'm excited.
She's not interested in watching either of them.
Nope.
Which I don't get because it doesn't have the things she doesn't like.
I know.
I mean, anyway. Well.
Do you want to tell us about this movie?
I do. This week we are talking about Biosphere, released in 2022. Director is Mel Eslin. Written by Mel Eslin and Mark Duplass. Starring Sterling K. Brown and Mark Duplass. Just going to pause right there. Honestly, people, how the fuck could you scroll past something with these two on the screen together, right? That's why we landed on it and sunk our teeth into it. No official rating, so, not rated. We don't know the budget, but you did find that the worldwide box office was 97,000.
That's right.
So I'm going to just go ahead and say it probably costs more than that to make this. But you never know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's not a stellar number. And again, I don't know why. Because, it's good. Let's talk about this plot. Did you just grab what there was, or is this it? Just like, where'd you get it from?
I just grabbed what there was. This was on IMDb.
Oh, okay. Because,
sometimes there's others, yeah.
Tubi. Or no, where did we see this on?
I think it was Tubi.
Was it?
Yeah. IFC, maybe?
No. We'll put it in the notes.
Okay.
All right. In the not too distant future, the last two men on Earth must adapt and evolve to save humanity. Simple enough?
Yeah.
I'll buy it. We can dive into this bad boy.
Let's do it.
Did you lose your sheet?
Yeah. I got it, though.
Excellent. Should we swap all this out for like one of those old-fashioned news desks and we just have the stack of papers there?
Yes.
Just read from it and not face each other.
Yeah.
There's no camera to look at. We'll just look ahead.
Yes.
I would hate that.
That sounds so fun.
I mean, kind of, but the fact that, dumped a lot of cash into this, I would be reticent to throw it all away and spend more.
Okay, but could I have some papers to shuffle around so that it sounds like we're at a desk?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't have any right now.
Well, what?
Maybe after the break or next
episode.
Next episode. We do have a soundboard with that stuff, though.
But we didn't hook up the soundboard.
Well, we didn't. I didn't know you wanted paper. I didn't know we were going to get to that.
I didn't know either. This all just happened. It's as new to me as it is to you.
How about what?
I'm going to start talking about this movie if you don't mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, how about we get into this film?
Are you going to let me have a word in? So we have two guys. They're running in what looks like some facility, and they're talking about Mario and Luigi. It's a very long conversation. But the general idea is that someone needs to look like the leader, and they have Luigi as, their backup man,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It carries the beat, right? So a timer goes off, and they stop running, and they're just kind of giving each other a hard time in a jokey kind of way. It is pretty quick dialogue. It's not like Glengarry Glen Ross, crazy fast, but it's rapid dialogue.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
So they're in this dome of some kind, and we get kind of the shot that goes through the dome, the array of things in there. And you get the idea that pretty quickly it's small, right?
Right. I mean, roughly the size, I guess, of like an average one-bedroom home.
Yeah.
Sans garage.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place isn't huge.
No.
It's just the two of them in there. So their names are Billy and Ray, according to a chore list. That's where I got their names immediately. Yeah. Which is just one of those big sheets of paper, those big pads that stands on an easel. So now we have some idea of the world that they're living in. Apparently, Ray built and stocked the biosphere that they're in. And we know this because they're chatting about it as Billy is critiquing Ray's book selection. And they've been in here for years. We learned that Ray saved Billy.
Mm-hmm.
We learned just a little bit about their history, just little bits. It's not like overly, over the top exposition, but it's just like little tidbits we're getting.
I mean, yeah, it's very natural in the conversation.
It is.
I was just thinking about the cadence of conversation that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The Glengarry Glen Ross is like a fast-paced film, even though it kind of moves slowly.
Right.
But it's like bang, 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 the interactions. This is when you click with somebody. This is how you and Carla talk. You and Ashley talk.
Is it?
Right? Yeah. Because you're close, you're familiar, and you guys spend, I don't say a lot of time, but with the busyness of the three of you, a lot of time.
It is.
Weekly brunches and then whatever else, and plus you're in communication and stuff. So it's just bang, 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 bang. Say something, something comes out. You know what I mean? It's not a contest. It's just
I mean, it's like you and I talk. We have our own kind of shorthand for various things, and that's all built into this. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So one of their tilapia, they have a very small tilapia pond that's attached to their plants, which there's like 2 plants in there. Apparently, this tilapia was named Sam.
Yes.
And they only have 2 left. But Ray assures Billy they'll be okay because they still have their female in the tank.
Right. I do want to hop back just a little bit. Part of one of their conversations, Billy starts talking about in kind of a sideways reference on how Ray's bed squeaks when he jacks off. And he's like, I was just wondering how someone could design this kind of place and not consider something like that.
Amazing.
I mean, that's who they are, and that's where they are.
Yeah, they're good friends, right? They're very close. So, but the plus side of this fish dying is they get to eat fish for dinner.
Right.
And then we have a lot of good, well done exposition in these first several minutes. Their dynamic, their situation generally. And they have this weird little funeral for the fish at dinner. Where Billy finds out that this fish wasn't Sam, it was their last female, Diane.
Right. It was a whole thing. He felt so bad about eating Sam. He gave a eulogy, and
Yeah.
Ray's like, huh.
Hmm. It's not the first time he's done this, though. They act like, this is a thing.
Yeah.
So Billy then has a bit of a freak out because without the fish being able to reproduce, they're not going to have the food they need. The tank isn't going to run.
Yeah. It's going to systematically wipe out their little ecosystem.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a little biosphere, right? One thing going wrong is going to trigger a whole bunch of other things. The idea is to be self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
So that night, Billy starts asking Ray why he withholds information from him, like that the fish was female, and we learn that Ray was president for 14 months before this.
No, Billy.
Right. Billy was president. And he wants Ray to be honest about their situation. Their food situation is going to be dire. Apparently, they can't leave this biosphere because the world outside is not suitable for habitation.
Right.
And we get a lot of info right away, but it's definitely efficient. So the next day, it's tough to tell, right? Because they're in a biosphere. While they're running.
Well, that's part of their daily routine.
Yeah.
Is their morning jogging and
around the
weird
sphere.
oblong
Yeah.
shape of it.
Right. Exercise.
Yeah.
So Billy stops and asks why they're running. He's just like, why? If we're going to die. So he sits down and starts playing a video game. Oh no, I lost my thought. Okay, so Ray is saying that Billy's being fussy. And Billy's like, I have a stomach ache. And Ray gives him some shit for it. And I mean, Ray is trying to be positive and Billy is being pretty negative. But Ray basically says he's trying to keep a little hope alive.
My favorite thing Ray says so far is he tells Billy that he's taking up a lot of emotional space in the dome with his pouting.
Yeah, they have conversations with each other when they address things like that. Like they've both definitely been through some couples therapy.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the two male remaining fish is now changing color. And Billy thinks it's sick. He's like, oh my God, already another one. And Ray says Diane didn't have these same symptoms. They were similar, but not exactly the same.
Right. You missed this little spot here, though, about the reason for running.
Okay.
Ray tells him, you know why. And Billy goes into this, but I don't want to hear it. Don't you fucking say it. Don't you fucking say it. Don't you fucking say it.
Oh, right.
And Ray says, bowling ball. And then Billy kind of loses his shit a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we move away from it. No idea what that fucking means at this point.
Right. Yeah. Which is why I don't have it in here because I was like, okay. So Billy has a full-on panic attack now. And Ray says that they don't know that he's dying. This fish is Woody.
Mm-hmm.
That's this fish's name.
Yeah.
He's like, something would need to have to have been introduced to the pond. We don't know exactly what's going on with this fish. Don't freak out. So Ray puts Billy to bed. Billy's got a fever. So he's got, panic attacks and he's, not having a best day. Now he's got a fever.
He thinks it's because he ate Diane's head.
So Ray tells him to rest. Meanwhile, Ray's doing some research. And while he's researching, there's this small blinking green light.
Yeah. So this isn't really a sphere. It's a dome.
Yeah.
And you had said, well, there's already a movie with that name.
Right.
So, I didn't do it either, but I think we should just pause for a second. So it looks like a giant geodesic dome on top of them, right?
That's windows.
That's windows. However, there is no light whatsoever.
Yeah, it's
It
totally
is
black.
black. And that's where this little like pinpoint of green light just show it far, far away,
Yeah,
or 5 feet away and super tiny. We don't know.
right.
Right.
Like a little star.
Yeah. And it's just kind of sits there and then it'll whoop, blink, blink.
Hmm.
That's even a little faster than I think it did. So that's what makes this something.
Weird. Right.
Yeah.
And he spends all night kind of poring over his books, and we see this light, but it isn't until almost morning when Ray notices it.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically is like, that's not possible.
Yeah.
Billy wakes up and he notices this light, and he has concerns. And Ray tells him that they have time to figure out what it is. He's excited about something else.
Right. Yeah. That's not where his
Right.
energy is at the moment.
Right. He's like, that's a tomorrow problem. We got to talk about this thing. So he tells Billy that his theory is that Woody is changing into a female fish. There's historical evolutionary evidence that it's possible it's happened in other kinds of fishes.
Well, I mean, we've seen it in modern times. It made
Yeah.
big news that shark that was a male. The next thing you know, having a baby.
Yeah. I mean, it's not totally unheard of.
Right.
It just, there's no, they don't have any, evidence of it happening in these kind of fish, which I'm assuming are tilapia.
Right. It's the isolation thing.
Right.
Has it been isolated long enough under certain circumstances? Who knows?
Yeah.
We catch him and eat him.
So it takes Billy a minute, but then he gets very excited that they might not die. And he says, life finds a way.
And then Billy, he looks upset when he's explaining this, or when Ray's explaining this, when he's saying Woody's genitals will disappear completely soon. Billy panics, grabs his crotch, and runs into the bathroom.
Yes.
Right? Ray chases him into the bathroom. And at this point, both of us were expecting, just fucking with you, or just, it's the kind of shit that they would do to each other.
Right.
Right. But when Ray gets in there, Billy is panicked. It seems that his penis is shrinking.
Yes.
And Ray's like, where's your dick? Yeah. So Billy thinks he's changing sex like Woody.
Mm-hmm.
So Ray tells him his penis won't vanish. It'll become his clitoris.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Didn't help.
It did not.
Not one bit. And then Billy asks, because I'm going to get a vagina? And Ray is trying to explain to him how incredible this is.
Yeah.
Right? And he hands Billy a mirror and he's like, you need to look for yourself. So Billy checks his balls and apparently his scrotum is separating. And he's like, well, where are my balls gonna go? He's I would not fault these reactions at all.
No.
So in the conversation, the bowling ball thing comes up briefly again. And Billy just doesn't want to fucking hear about it. Right?
Yeah.
Just no. But he's just not happy about what's going on. So Ray goes to watch the fish. And then he sees the green light is still on outside the window. And he talks to the fish. And he's kind of, I love this. It's almost passive aggressive.
Right.
That would be like if we had an argument and I went up and sat on the couch, and you're on the other side of the couch and brought Husker up and it's like, grandma doesn't, da 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 da. Um, but hey, it's what they do.
Right. Yeah, he's talking to the fish. He's like, you know, Woody, Billy doesn't do super well with unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, he just doesn't do unbelievable very well. And then he tells the fish about the bowling ball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when he was a kid, he was at some kind of, it was a magic thing going on. And someone had a drawing pad on an easel, right? Big book with blank pages. And the person who was doing the thing asked Ray what he wanted for his birthday. And Ray said a bowling ball. And he hadn't given it thought. It was something he knew he wasn't going to get for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, it was a
and
magician at Ray's birthday party.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, this is Ray. That's what I'm saying. It's something he didn't think he would be able to get for his birthday,
Mm-hmm.
but he just kind of blurted out bowling ball. So the guy draws a bowling ball in the book and then closes it up. He tells Ray to step back. He does, and the guy opens the book or separates the pages, and out dropped, and I will guess it was a bowling ball. But Ray gets cut off by Billy moaning at this point. So the fish never got to hear the final piece.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's morning. Ray is running around the dome. Billy is in bed sleeping. Ray comes to a stop at the window and looks at the green light. And then we cut to them later playing chess. Uh, Billy asks if Ray feels hot. And then he starts going on about Ray letting him win
Yeah.
at chess. Billy takes off his jacket, and it looks like he's growing breasts.
Yes.
All of a sudden.
Little bitty titties.
And then Ray says the green light outside is growing. It's bigger than it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Billy walks away to read a book. He picks up Our Body, Ourselves. And he looks up to the green light, which is, very slightly bigger and brighter. Then they're exercising, tossing a medicine ball back and forth. Billy asks why Ray isn't the one to be changing since he's way less masculine. And Billy really wants to keep his dick.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who wouldn't,
So then they're arguing, ending with Ray saying something about a meat puppet and all the horrible shit Billy did, and then says flat out that Billy fucking sucked as a president. And then Billy walks off. Then we see him laying in bed. He gets up and starts walking around the edge of the dome. We see the two fish. One is dark. The other is very pink.
Mm-hmm.
Ray's doing dishes. Billy later's playing a video game. Then we see Billy sitting in the bathroom. Ray says he'll go insane if two fish are all he has to talk to. And then he talks to the fish about being a registered Democrat. He said he thinks Billy knew it, but chose to ignore it. Something about weird stuff freaking Billy out, which is why he flinches every time Ray says bowling ball. Then he tells the fish he thinks Billy is scared. And there isn't anything that Ray, can do about it. He thinks Billy should try to see the miracle in it, what's going on. Billy steps in, talking about the bowling ball. Seems Billy was freaked out by the whole bowling ball magic thing.
Yeah.
He really is completely against believing it. Ray says the sound of the thing hitting the floor made it real. He goes into it a little bit more. You could feel the vibrations in his feet, the whole. So eventually Billy says he knows that Ray is all about the story, but it's not what he needs right now. And then they're having a mock funeral for Billy's genitals.
Yeah. They put the Washington Monument statue that Billy has had into a box, and they draw a penis on the box.
Yes.
And he confers upon the symbolic penis a Presidential Medal of Honor and thanks it for its service.
I know, yeah. So, yeah, Ray doing the eulogy as advisor to the president. I confer upon you the Medal of Honor because we thank you for your service.
Yes.
And then Billy says, from the moment I knew you, I loved you. Sometimes I felt like I was attached to you. And some more platitudes
Yeah.
to his parting penis. He gets very emotional. Uh, Later, they're watching Lethal Weapon 2. Billy pauses the movie and he wants to watch something else. He tells Ray he misses how they used to be a team. Ray says, well, we still are a team. Then Ray runs off to the bathroom. Uh,
It's pretty clear what he's doing when he does it.
yeah. Okay, so now it's night. We zoom in on the plants by the fish pond. Looks like a bunch of fish eggs,
Mm-hmm.
right? In there. Ray comes out and he talks about what happened last night. So he accidentally got a quick glance at Billy's newly forming tits. And it had been so long since he's actually seen one. He popped a boner. And there you go. It's very matter of fact about it.
He is, but that's not really what happened.
What happened?
Earlier in the movie, when Billy walked past Ray, Ray mentioned Billy smelled different. And then when they're wrestling for the remote, Ray did not get a look at Billy's tits. It was that closeness.
Oh, well, that's what he said.
Well, I know, but he was lying.
Well, I'm going to believe Ray.
Wow.
Okay. So anyway, Billy tells Ray to go check out the fish pond. Ray's ecstatic. Then we cut to Billy is watching the little fish. So we've had some time pass. We got some baby fish. And gets upset that Sam is eating one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ray says it's fine. That's why they have so many. It's perfectly natural. They're not going to eat all of them.
Right.
Right. And one thing they had an argument about early on when Billy was pissed on, he was angry that Ray never taught him to warp.
In Mario.
Yeah. I don't know which one they were playing. Super Mario Brothers? Mario? I don't know. I lost track a long time ago. So Ray tells Billy he's going to teach him to warp. Then they're sitting on the couch and Billy is ecstatic.
Yeah.
Right? Some shots of, doing it and finally success. Billy is just like, oh. We're at night. He's looking at the green light, which is again a little bigger and a little brighter. But Billy is. When Ray comes out, Billy's doing the fish alkaline level checking, it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just says he was up, so went ahead and did it. And then he decides to go ahead and run with Ray. And as they're running, Billy's having a hard time with his new small tits, so they end up walking.
Yeah.
Billy starts talking about the new baby fish. And then he blurts out the question, think we can make a baby?
Yeah.
Ray laughs. Billy is serious. Ray explains to Billy that he would need to produce eggs and menstruate. And Billy has,
yep.
as he tells Ray, that it just came. Ray is very weirded out at this point. And he's like, after a little, he's like, well, what was it like? Billy says the experience was powerful. And he says there's a part of him that is starting to ache. And then Ray says, William, what are you asking me? And Ray says a baby would be another mouth to feed. And they go into the whole thing. It's another mouth to feed, more to the point. He doesn't want to have sex with Billy. And Billy makes the argument that Ray is a scientist and should be excited to experiment. Billy does point out that he doesn't want to have sex. They could do it artificially.
Yeah, he talks about the baster method.
Yeah, the baster or just in a cup and, like the 40-foot free throw kind of thing. He's just, anyway, it's kind of just, he's way off. So Ray ultimately walks off because the conversation is just way past where he wanted to go. So Billy starts arguing with him, and then he follows. Ray ends up saying very clearly, "I'm not a fucking fag."
Yeah.
And that sort of shut
the whole thing down.
And then he instantly looks mortified.
Yeah.
And he just walks off. At night, they're sleeping in separate rooms. Ray is out on the couch in the living area.
Right.
Yeah, Billy's in bed. Then there's a scene of Ray actually moving his bed out into the living area.
Mm-hmm.
Scenes of Billy playing video games, reading, Ray's working out on equipment, scenes of both of them alone in their rooms, in their
basically it's a montage of them not talking to each other.
Right. This was a huge divide for them.
Yeah.
And then a shot of the slightly bigger, slightly brighter green light outside. And then one day Billy is talking to the fish, same thing, basically talking about he and Ray's situation, saying things like he's really saying to Ray, Then he proceeds to tell the fish he was the one who ruined the world.
Mm-hmm.
He says he thinks he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And this night, Ray is reading through his notebooks. I got to say, props are fucking everything in a movie, right? And one of the reasons Seven was so good, aside from all the weird shit going on, is when they finally got to fucking John Doe's apartment, right?
Yeah.
And they flipped through those books. You could see they wrote so many of those notebooks had writing in them from front to back. So they could flip through them,
right,
for the shot and everything. Holy shit. I mean, that was perfect. These drawings and these notes in these very thick notebooks are wonderful. And I just love that they get a little airtime.
Oh, yeah.
Because somebody worked their ass off putting that together for what is decidedly 1/500th of the film in terms of airtime, right? So he's reading his notebooks, and then we get another shot of the green light.
Yeah, which is again increasing in size, and we have Ray recording that data in those cool notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have the scene where Billy's just coming out of the shower.
Yep.
In a towel, and Ray is in the room. And it's a little bit of a surprise to Billy because it's the bedroom, right, where Ray hasn't been.
Right, yeah.
So he tells Ray to turn around so he can change. So Ray turns around while Billy's dressing. Ray starts talking about the family he was raised in. And it wasn't great. And he says that when pushed, he defaulted back into those old molds.
Yeah. It was raised with the overburdening concept of manliness.
Right.
So we know how that is.
Oh, yeah.
Without having to get into it. Yeah. He's tried to be an open, non-judgmental person. He's a registered Democrat.
Yeah.
I just love how they use those two words together. It means fucking nothing in the scope of this. But
it doesn't.
It does between them, the two of them.
Yeah. So Billy is basically like, yeah, I know who you are, and you're more than that.
Yeah.
So Ray says he should have stopped Billy back then when he destroyed the world, presumably.
Yeah.
And when Billy says when he asked Ray to build this dome, he didn't think they would need it, and Ray's like, I did.
Yeah. Just like that. I did.
Yeah. And Ray admits that he never showed Billy how to do the warp, in Mario, so he could have like some special powers over him.
Yeah.
You know, these guys were friends for a long, long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this pretty equalizing conversation, making amends. And Ray admits that if they do this baby experiment, that he's worried about losing Billy in the pregnancy. So Billy kind of understands that, and he suggests that they should play a game. So they start playing a game,
Mm-hmm.
video game. And while they're talking, sitting next to each other, facing forward, right?
Uh-huh.
Like we should do on this podcast.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ray says that they would have to keep it purely scientific. And they go into this kind of conversation that's a little bit painful and awkward to watch. And then they start sort of spitballing ideas. And then they're suddenly talking physics, and it's even more incredibly awkward. I wrote, I can't even write about it. Ultimately,
I can. Or I did. Want me to cover it quick?
Sure.
Be
Why don't you cover this scene?
So the whole thing is Ray saying, as a scientist, he wouldn't be true to science if he didn't try to test all possible outcomes. So we a lot of stuff I didn't get because it was like quick, some of it, but like one thing was Billy could just lay on his back and not move. So he's trying different positions and like, how would that work and how do we do this? And then it comes down to how could we do it without either of them having to, or either of us having to see each other at all, any part, right? So Ray is a mess. he's struggling with some stuff, right? Billy leaves the room so Ray can make himself hard. And then once that's done, he's supposed to sneak in and somehow make it work.
Yeah.
Where they're not looking at each other and everything. So Billy lays on the couch. Ray's eyes are closed. He's trying to make his way to Billy. Ray opens his eyes, and Billy has covered himself with a sheet and has a hole in it.
One little hole.
And Ray's like, you look like a one-eyed ghost.
So they perform this act with Billy covered in a sheet with that single hole in it. And then the sheet comes off Billy's head while they're, and they kiss. And that green light is like shining pretty brightly through the window now.
Yes.
And then they wake up cuddling. And still yet more awkward. But it's well handled, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels, it's normal. This is a normal thing. So then next we see Ray cutting veggies while Billy is picking music. They're like dancing and joking around with each other. There's a sweet montage of them getting along pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Billy's shaving his face. Ray's like cutting Billy's hair. Billy is visibly pregnant.
Yes.
So then we see them walking and talking, doing their morning run, but it's a walk now. And Billy starts pondering the gender of the kid. I mean, at this point, right? What?
It's fair.
Yeah.
Given all that's gone on, it's completely fair.
Well, because he does talk about in this conversation, he's like, I know I have, female parts, but I'm a man still. Right? Billy.
I mean, yeah, he still has a beard and he still looks like Billy, just with little boobs and a growing. Well, and what we can't see is apparently something that resembles a vagina.
Right, but regardless of what he looks like, he
feels like a man, thinks like a man, still sees himself as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Then they're talking on the couch while Ray is rubbing Billy's feet, which is really sweet. And Ray starts fretting about the birth,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they're still worried about the green light, which, I mean, has not been forgotten about. But at the same time, besides watch it and measure it, what can they do?
Right. It's bigger
It's
and
a
brighter.
light.
Yeah.
So at night, it sounds like there's a storm outside.
Of note, this is the first any kind of sound
Mm-hmm.
related to anything beyond the dome. It has been just pitch black. And I mean, at the quietest in the dome, there's nothing going on outside. No external sounds have come in this whole film.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's breaking the like outer there's like 2 layers of glass around this dome.
Yes.
Breaking the outer layers of glass. And it starts to break the inner layers. They get a sheet to cover the hole. That doesn't work. They sacrifice the fish tank to seal up the holes.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems pretty important that they do this because on the failure of the first one, Billy starts to be unable to breathe. Like there's not any air outside.
Right. When morning comes, everything is a mess. They're both waking up on the couch. There is a bunch of green light in the sky. And there is all kinds of stuff going on with the dome glass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been wild. And then, so there's a bunch of green light in the sky, and Billy says the sky is opening back up. So what it looks like is, imagine that the atmosphere is green and the sky is just black with clouds, you know, like after a rainstorm, and they're starting to separate. So there's those wisps of green back there. You know, again, first thing other than the light. The dome is very damaged, lots of tape marks and things, and it's a thing. And then Ray is going on about the dome being damaged, too damaged to repair.
Well, and he sacrificed the fish tank.
Well,
and he's like, that was stupid.
Yep, and the fish are dead.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, Ray says there's less than 40 days worth of food. And then Billy starts talking about what he's been reading. And this is something that he's reading a book on science,
mm-hmm.
you know, to understand some stuff. And then he's also wondering, what if other people had survived? What if there are other bunkers out there, private bunkers?
Yeah.
Right? What could this mean? You know? And what if those people, some of them are turning into women as well?
Right.
Right? Ray points out again that they have limited food, a dome that may fail any second, and a baby on the way. They need to stay thinking logically. So, cut to later. Billy says they need to do something. They need to save the 8 pounds of magic in his belly. He's being very optimistic.
Well, can I circle back for a moment?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Because in that discussion they had, Billy talks about what he's been researching, and he says, but there was a storm. You can't have weather if there's no atmosphere.
Right. Yeah, that was the thing.
So he says, maybe the atmosphere is coming back.
Yes. The Earth has spent this time, and that was sort of its like first big wake up.
Right.
Right. So I don't know what this fucking guy did. I mean, I'm almost done, but I'm just going to stop right here. But holy shit, he burned the atmosphere off the planet.
Yeah.
That is, I don't even know where to fucking put that. Like, fucking kudos. If you're going to go out big. Or, you know, what in the ever loving fuck could you possibly do? Surrounded by people whose job it is to tell you to not do that thing.
Right. Don't burn up the atmosphere off of the planet.
I have no idea, but Jesus Christ. So, he goes on talking about how after years of darkness, a green light shows up. And then there's a storm. And then Billy starts talking about that day. And he has a writing pad on an easel. He starts talking about the bowling ball. His point, they know that things can happen without being explained. And no matter how weird or scary, there is always room for hope. He asks Ray if he wants to prove his magic theory once and for all. And then Billy starts writing. He tells Ray no peeking, and Ray is crying.
Yeah.
And then we hear Billy say, okay, look. And then the paper flips, and then we hear a bang, sounding just like a bowling ball hitting the floor, though we don't see it. And that was it. There's so much to unpack here, but that's not what we're about. We're not going to decipher the movie.
No.
I mean, we'll talk about some things, and I got some points in my head, that things that were done and said, and good camera work and stuff. Yeah. So, what do we talk about this bad boy?
All right. So, right away off the bat, two very good actors for this film.
Yes.
Mark Duplass is awesome.
Yes. Well, I was just thinking, I've seen him in a lot of interviews. Stuff on Instagram, Mark Maron, all that kind of stuff, and he is just so cool. And it makes me think way back to, he was in some movies, but then when he did Safety Not Guaranteed with Aubrey Plaza, I was like, oh, please let there be more like this.
Yes.
Please let him enjoy indie films. And fuck me, does he?
He does. And Sterling,
oh,
anytime I see him in anything, I love him.
He is, I'm not going to speak for all actors, but I can imagine that that's the kind of guy everyone wants to be, in terms of when he's on the screen, that presence.
I know, he's got that gravitas.
Yes. And Mark Duplass has enough to carry it. And that's rare, to get two people with, both of them with that kind of a presence taking up that screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, no notes on the acting. The acting was wonderful.
Yeah. Why bother? They're both great, and they were great in this.
Yeah. I mean, not why bother. It's, I think they're dynamic as the only two actors in the entire film, besides maybe the fish. It's really important to know that if you've got a film like this with one location and two actors, they need to have a really good chemistry together.
They do. Yes.
And that's not necessarily something that is always going to be a given. No.
We have seen movies where we know for a fact the actors just cut and then they just fucking run to their separate corners.
Yeah.
Like, every minute I could not be with this person is a minute I cherish. But they're good at what they do. They are masters of their craft, and they pulled it off. And there's been some instances where, like, wow, I didn't get that vibe at all.
Right.
That they hated each other or just couldn't stand it.
Right.
But I think these guys were, well, with indie films, you don't run into that, though, do you? Because nobody's making top dollar on this bullshit. It's the same amount of work.
Right.
Making a movie for low budget as it is for high budget, right? There's just more people involved when you have more money. But as an actor, you still have to give the same performance because you want to give it your best. And it's not like, okay, we're going to roll the camera for 90 minutes. Let's go. There's our movie. It's resets and days and days and days and days, long hours and shit. None of that shit changes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you very rarely get people phoning it in an indie film.
No. They even something, so let's, Death Riders.
Sure.
Right? They were giving it their all.
They were doing the best they could.
Okay. Now their toolbox wasn't as big, as other folks. But that's kind of the thing. It is what it is. I'm good at my job. There are people who are way better at it than I am, right?
Sure.
They know more and they have more experience I'll never have
Hmm.
in certain settings. And you know what? That's fine. You do the best you can.
Yeah. But that's another classic indie film trick to keep a budget low is single location, minimal acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this nailed it.
They
And
did.
I was going to hit on that. I think one of the reasons I enjoyed this movie is because we have recently, not just for the show, but just in general, been finding movies that are very, uh,
Minimalist.
well, they rely 100% on the dynamic,
Hmm.
right? Not a complicated plot, not action, not a lot of stuff. I don't want to call it a slice of life because this was a bit more than that,
It was.
you
Yeah.
know. But it's the relationship,
Hmm.
right? It's like Glengarry Glen Ross pared down to two people,
Yeah.
you know. Um, I dig these movies because they're I don't know, they're so enjoyable. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about the plot in a minute. um, but this one was a payoff. It was funny.
Hmm.
I guess we should say that we went through this and hit the high notes. There is so much in terms of little shit that goes on the
There
screen
really is.
from second to second
Hmm.
that the only thing we could do to even try to cover that would be to turn this into a video podcast for an episode and just show the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Maybe with commentary. But it's a busy film.
It is.
It's not slow moving.
No, it's packed in and stuff moves pretty quickly.
Yeah. And it's all very I think that's what made it comfortable too, is it's just very realistic.
It did. It felt realistic, despite
The plot.
the science fictionish. I mean, it's science fiction, right? Because that's not
Well, I mean, it hasn't happened.
right.
And it's a what could happen. And
Right.
in the beginning of the movie, though, it opened with a super on the screen, Once Upon a Time.
Oh, it did. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I didn't get at the time, but I'm not going to talk about it because it's not what we need to do. But I do want to talk about the writing because the plot, once it hit me, this is what we're in.
Right.
Because I'm like, at first you're like, is this just like when he ran to is this just like a thing? Are they
Right.
fucking with each other? Are they,
Yeah.
Rangers trying to string them along? I don't know. But I love the concept.
Yeah.
I do. We know in certain circumstances it triggers that kind of a change in certain animals.
Hmm.
And it goes into a whole big thing. I don't know that they meant this, but I feel like they wanted us to think broader.
Oh, for
Okay.
sure.
So like two men living together in a cabin in the mountains all their lives. One of them's not necessarily going to change into a woman because it's that bigger thing of nature. All this, we're all connected,
Yeah.
right? And when something as catastrophic as destroying the world and burning the atmosphere away
Mm-hmm.
or covering up, I don't even know what was making it black, right? Because
I
there was
think
no
that there
sunlight.
was no atmosphere. Oop, I booped it. I had a fluff I was trying to get and I booped my mic.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that whole bit aside, I feel like when life takes a drastic change globally, across all levels of nature and everything, maybe there is a knowing, maybe there is a trigger,
Right.
right? And I don't know, I would challenge anybody who said, well, that could never happen. The reason we're here today is because of a million things that could never happen.
Right.
That did happen, and here we are.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And I guess I like how they had fun with it, but they didn't mock it.
Right.
They didn't turn it into some sort of farcical, lampoonian,
Yeah.
fucking American Pie kind of nonsense. I thought it's not like it's a delicate subject, but it was very respectful towards the idea,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Further technical details, because the writing was excellent. The
Yeah.
dialogue was very good, very quick. I don't know how much it was, like semi-improv or what, but it was all very good.
Mm-hmm.
The lighting was really interesting.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes. Well, it shifted a little bit. I was
Mhm.
paying attention. So in the beginning, I'd noted there's a clock on the wall that they
Yes.
kept cutting to. And at different times, the lights inside the dome would change.
Hmm.
So we had like morning light, which was a little soft, but kind of bright.
Yeah.
And then the daytime hours. And then at like 8 o'clock, it would go down.
Dim.
Yeah, dim a bit. And then, of course, at bedtime, nearly everything was off,
Right.
you know.
Um, and I believe their set was probably a repurposed geodesic dome. Uh, and the space they were working in was not very big, right?
Right.
And so I want to give kudos to the camera work because it is tough
Mm-hmm.
going around a smaller space and accomplishing the kind of really visually interesting shots that they got.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were a bunch of kind of creative angles for different shots, and there was camera movement that just felt very smooth, like especially when they were running.
Yeah. And I was going to say, with them running, they do a complete 360-degree
Mm-hmm.
around the thing. No cuts, no nothing. So you get a sense of their space. You get to see from that outer corridor the different parts
Mm-hmm.
of the inner part. Now, that's not to say, Hollywood magic. That set could have been 15 different pieces,
I mean, yeah,
right? Um, I feel like they shot close quarters
I feel like they did too.
because it had that feel. And, watching it, I'm looking at things and then, figuring out at the end, like there could have been a dozen different kinds of shots for this scene,
Yeah,
right? But it's not going to work because, the set's not over there and they're not, 40 feet away on a dolly. You
right,
know what I mean? Or maybe they were. I don't know. And they chose not to do it. But those kinds of things were not utilized.
correct.
It was the angles
Yeah,
and things like that, like you said. It was very good. Very good.
yeah, it was delightful.
I think when we have an indie film
Mm-hmm.
and you have two people like this, now, they brought their checkbooks along, right?
Oh,
Especially if Duplass was one of the writers. That doesn't mean they have unlimited funds.
no,
But these are also two gentlemen who are embarking on this project who have a great deal of experience, uh, not just being in front of the camera, but a lot of aspects of the whole process.
right.
And with that comes this polished look. Yes, they had money for good cameras, clearly. They had money for this great set, clearly, right?
Yeah,
Um, they probably forwent any payment and waited for the back end to kick in. I don't know. But when we have any films with folks like this in it, it's hard to find flaws in the quality,
it is.
you know. Um, that's just kind of the way it is. Mercedes makes a great car. They have a lot of stuff. They have a lot of experience and a history with what they do and how they do it. Guy who made a go-kart in his backyard last week for the first time isn't going to compete with that on that level.
Right.
He's got his own different game,
Yeah.
but he's not going to bring that game, not for a while, because that's what experience does. Teaches you all that.
Oh, but yeah, going back to the subject matter, which was the really interesting sort of portion of this film. Uh, it might be on us because we didn't rewatch the trailer, but I swear I would have remembered this being in the trailer.
I'm telling you, this is a hard concept to just pass off, right? Because
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
I haven't either.
You know, we've seen sci-fi people mutating into aliens and creatures and vice versa, and like
Yeah.
shit like spliced, and you know what I mean, or splice, and it. I don't know. I don't know. I love it. I loved the concept.
Yeah, it was super, super fun. And it did set a ripe, fertile field for lots and lots of jokes
Yes.
that they fully milked to their fullest potential, while still remaining very, as you said, respectful and not mocking
Right.
of the situation. It did just take me by surprise, though.
Mm-hmm. I loved the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the ending began not with the storm and stuff, but when Billy goes on about we gotta, you know, hope. We got to work work something out for this 8 pounds of magic in my belly.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I love that. We don't know what the fucking green light is.
No.
Why there was, looked like a airplane spotlight from way off. Why it blinked. Why it was round. And then all of a sudden after the storm, it's, green in the background behind the blackness. I don't care at this point.
No.
You know, I don't feel like I needed it explained to me. I just love the simple premise. Hope.
I do love the super simple. Yeah, I love that premise. Um, I would like to explore a sequel to this film wherein there are other survivors and Billy, who destroyed the world, if we remember correctly,
Yes.
has to face those survivors not as a miracle baby carrier, but as the person who did destroy the world.
The angel of death.
Yeah.
I don't even know. If I were him, I'd be like, hey, there's an atmosphere and things are working out great, but I'm not leaving this fucking dome. I don't want to see anybody.
Well, I mean, he's uh for lack of a better term, right? But he's the destroyer, he's the antichrist and the Madonna at the same time.
Right? Not necessarily a virgin birth, but yeah,
Right. A
but
miracle birth.
for the situation that we've been viewing for 90-ish minutes, yeah, the 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 child born is the next generation,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no one else. There was not going to be a next generation. They were going to live their lives out
Right.
and die. That was the plan,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But yeah, and you don't even have to think about like the feasibility of it, you
No.
know. It just things like this make me think of Howard Wolowitz, Big Bang Theory, you know. Believe in magic, you muggle.
Sure.
That little line he barked, it fits so many things that echoes in my head,
Yeah.
you know. Like he's going, we need this, and Ray didn't argue with him.
Right.
But I also love the bowling ball thing,
I did like that.
you know, how Billy just couldn't grasp it, and Ray's like, fucking real. It was the realest thing in my life. And that's what gave him his outlook on things.
Yeah, it's magic. It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
hope. It's making, it's giving you a purpose.
Yeah. Well, and I love how it came back around when he was
Mhm.
losing his shit and descending down that well. We have less than 40 days of food. The fish are gone, this and this. And then, we don't know what's going to happen. What if something goes wrong with the birth and this and that? And he's very real about he doesn't want to lose Billy
Right.
because he doesn't want to be alone. I mean,
Understandable.
right. But it's also his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just love how that came
Full
back around.
circle.
Yeah. Like Billy got it. This is what he needs right now. I just love the at the end.
Yeah.
Without seeing it. And I just love seeing Ray crying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that the release of all that tension and fear, glimmer of hope, and just the connection with this thing that happened and how now it's here to let him know again. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Just believe.
There's magic.
Yeah. It's very cool.
It was very cool.
Going back to the writing, I think a big downfall, even in A movies, not everything needs to be answered.
No.
I heard someone talking about writing, especially scripts. Don't pose questions that can't be answered. Don't introduce things that aren't addressed. It's that whole. And I've said it too. Things that happen in a film have to move the plot forward.
Sure.
Right? Everything here does. But I love having some stuff not answered. I love that here is what this movie is about. Not him just changing into a woman, but friendship, the relationship between these two. It's two guys at the end of the world. Well, I guess after the end of the world. It's like, Vincent Price and Last Man on Earth times 2.
Just the belief.
Yeah. Very good. A lot of stuff to take in here. And I just want to, again, talk about the set and props. Folks, what made this great is the attention to detail.
Yeah.
Right? Every little thing matters. And it comes back down to what you can afford and stuff. But we've talked about, if you need to shoot shit in your house, do it. And, take family pictures down and stuff if you don't want those in the movie. But show what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Use it. Make it look used. Make it look like it belongs. It's not just there. Like in a Broadway play or something where they just put shit in the background to do a thing. Nobody interacts with it. Nobody does anything with it. And if you're more than 4 rows back, you don't even fucking know what it is. Right?
Set dressing.
Yeah. The props in the set can be a character.
Oh, they absolutely
can.
And
this dome was the third character in this.
Yeah.
So that's what you're going for. You watch this, take a look at how that was done. I guess that would be my last thing. But I do want to mention something that I had mentioned to you.
Yeah.
About what I had read. So I saw this little blurb about the movie John Wick. And I didn't know this because, I don't follow up on everything I like. But eventually, apparently, John Wick was canceled. They shut everything down, turned the lights out because they're out of fucking money. Out of the shadows comes Ava Longoria, gives them $6 million to finish the movie. And the rest is history.
Oh, yeah.
How fucking rock star is that?
Oh, she's awesome.
I know. And I was just thinking, how many productions didn't have that believing angel
right
that came in,
I mean, Lucille Ball was the believing angel for a lot of stuff. Star Trek.
Yeah. She
greenlit Star Trek.
If it was not the norm,
mm-hmm.
she was in it because that was her whole life. I mean, if there's anything normal about her fucking life, it lasted for 5 seconds and that was gone. That's a whole thing. We do 10 episodes on her.
Yeah.
But anyway, with that in mind, indie film, it doesn't always happen that you can find someone with money. However, always understand if you start something and it has to stop, you can go back to it.
Yeah.
I want to use so many of our friends, so many people out there. Anton is still working on that movie.
Yes.
And we've been at this for a while. And we'll be at it for a while more before it's done.
And he was working on it before we talked to him.
Yeah.
Years back.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting lost in it. Sorry.
That's okay.
Wormwood.
Road of the Dead.
Road of the Dead. 3 years.
On weekends.
Shot over weekends.
Yeah.
It.
How long it takes us to do a D&D campaign.
I know. There's a lot more examples out there of things that took a long time or stopped and started again. Look at Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
The reason he did that whole Wolverine beginnings or origins or whatever that fucking nightmare was, and they just totally skull fucked the character of Deadpool. He was excited about doing it and then realized, no, this is no good. But anyway, he was at that for fucking years and years. And I think it was like 12 years. He had been trying to get somebody to do something in the Deadpool arena. And he did himself.
Yes.
So even when you have the money and the fame and the power and the presence, not everything happens. And the things that do happen don't always happen immediately.
Right.
Hold the faith.
Yeah.
Take
Believe.
that from this movie. Believe.
Beautiful message.
Yeah. You'll find a way.
You should find your way to our website.
I was hoping you would say that because I was thinking it. lordsofmisruleproductions.com. We have links. Everything's there. And, when you listen to the podcast, checking out Instagram or YouTube channel or channels, such as like BF McGillicuddy, the video versions of the audio of this podcast, and the Lords of Misrule Productions channel as well, which has very little, has nothing on it at the moment, but except trailers.
But it's there.
Yeah. Send us some notes, emails on the website, info@lordsofmisruleproductions.com. Reach out to us through whatever.
Recommend a film, or if you want to talk about a film.
Yeah, introduce yourself and say, this is what I did, or just say, hey, I saw this. You might, and if a friend of yours did something, bring it up.
Yep.
That's what we'll do. I was gonna say, do all the things like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, because algorithms.
Only the good stuff, though. Don't hate on us. It'll hurt our feelings.
Check out our Patreons as well. That'd be great if you could become a B-sider, B-movie lover, and throw us a subscription for $5 a month. It'd be awesome.
Yep.
And I think
that's it.
That covers it.
Until next time, this is Danny.
Who? What?
This is Jim.
Who?
Who are you?
Alfonso.
Okay, this is Danny.
And this is Jim.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye, B-siders.